Okay, good morning, Prof. Usman, Ms. Filia, Ms. Mutiara, and all students in metabolism class. My name is Lydia Lindasari, and today with Yani Sumaya and Maisha Hanifa, we are going to discuss about intermittent fasting effect on metabolism and diabetes. This is next. This is the outline of our presentation. The first one is what is intermittent fasting. The second one is how to do intermittent fasting. The third one is what are the benefits of intermittent fasting. The fourth one is metabolism factor linking intermittent fasting with health. And the last one is about effect intermittent fasting on diabetes. Next, please. Okay, for the first one, what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting was the top weight loss search term of 2019 and its popularity is only growing. Intermittent fasting is not a diet, but an eating pattern with switching between periods of eating and fasting on a regular schedule. On a eating period, intermittent fasting is given the freedom to choose whatever they want to consume, but still break the fast with something light and healthy. When used correctly, intermittent fasting can be extremely beneficial for fat loss, especially around abdomen, lowering blood sugar, and more. Next, please. So there are different types of intermittent fasting based on the time period that can choose to eat and fast. So here we will explain the most popular types of intermittent fasting. Next, please. Okay, the first one of the most popular forms of intermittent fasting is the 16-8 method. The 16-8 method focuses on breaking up the 24-hour day into time frames of fasting and eating, rather than the entire week. Acknowledged as one of the easiest forms of intermittent fasting is all about limiting the consumption of foods and high-calorie drinks to an 8-hour eating window during the day. As the picture on the slide, in orange box means you can fasting, and the green and yellow box in it means you can eating. You can see how long you must eating and fasting. For example, you start fasting at midnight until 12 p.m. After that, you can eating until 8 p.m. Then start fasting again about 16 hours. Next, please. Okay, well, the second most popular intermittent fasting is 5-2 method. The 5-2 method, also known as the fast diet, focuses on fasting twice per week, while eating as normal for the remaining 5 days. Popularized by British journalist Michael Mosley, the method is fairly straightforward. On the days we are fasting, the calories intake should be restricted to 500 to 600 per day. The days the fast fall are on are completely up to the individual, and there is no structure that offers and increases effectiveness. Next, please. Okay, next method is 24-hour fasting. This involves fasting for 20 hours once or twice a week, for example, by not eating from dinner one day until dinner the next day. Next, please. Okay, next, intermittent fasting has many powerful benefits. Next. Number one, intermittent fasting can rapid weight loss. Intermittent fasting can improve the function of our hormone that helpful use last weight. Now, one problem that a lot of people suffer from who are trying to lose weight is insulin resistance. Insulin resistance can make it hard to lose weight because the body is not responding to insulin correctly, and one of the best ways to reverse insulin resistance is fasting. So by addressing the issue of insulin resistance, we can lose weight more easily and often faster. And then we have ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. And the number one, intermittent fasting reduce belly fat and reduce inflammation. For reduce belly fat, Abdominal fat, which is also known as visceral fat, is one of the biggest indicators of insulin resistance. Visceral fat is particularly concerning because it increases the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and more. And as I mentioned earlier, in intermittent fasting is one of the best ways to reverse insulin resistance and improve insulin sensitivity. When insulin sensitivity improves and weight loss begins, the body loses that stubborn belly fat as well. And for the reduced inflammation, intermittent fasting reduces inflammation in the body, specifically chronic inflammation. Intermittent fasting can reduce inflammation by reducing monocytes in the blood. Monocytes are a type of white blood cell, and when your levels are high, it means your body is fighting something. Number 3, intermittent fasting increase energy. Our bodies have two fuel sources, glucose and fat. When there is an absence of fats in our diet, we start using fat for energy. And of course, when we are fasting, we are not eating any crabs or any food for that matter. So we burn fat efficiently for energy. Fat is also a cleaner burning fuel source for the brain, leading to more mental energy and clarity as well. For the last, number 4, intermittent fasting lower blood sugar. So for someone who is already a type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic, intermittent fasting can help to reverse a condition. Like I said before, when people are not eating for long periods of time, this allows it can lower blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity. Next.
Okay. I will discuss about mechanistic factors linking intermittent fasting with health. We can see the picture on the slide. The picture on the right illustrates the relationship among factors hypothesized during intermittent fasting and health outcomes. Briefly, intermittent fasting regimens are hypothesized to influence metabolic regulation via effects on the first circadian biology, the second, the gastrointestinal gut microbiota, and the third, modifiable lifestyle behaviors. Negative perturbation in the systems can produce a hostile metabolic milieu, which predisposes individuals to the development of obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. For the first time, I will explain about circadian biology. The picture on the left shows the time of the place and measure apart in integrating metabolism and energetics, as well as psychology indices such as hormonal secretion patterns, physical coordination, and sleep. Circadian rhythms occurs 24 hours like dark clock cycles and include changes in biology and behavior. Using synchronization of the suprachiasmatic nucleus master clock in the brain and peripheral circadian clocks in liver, fat, and skeletal muscle cells might increase the risk of chronic diseases. Feeding signals appear to be the dominant timing cue for the rhythms of peripheral clocks, including those that control metabolic pathways. Those consuming energy outside the normal feeding phase. For the example, late night eating in humans may reset some peripheral clocks and disrupt energy balance. Circadian rhythms have an impact on metabolism across the day in humans, and these effects are measurable by behavior intervention. Insulin sensitivity decreases throughout the day and into the night. By the way, the circadian rhythm itself is regulated by the hypothalamus. The second effect is the gastrointestinal gut microbiota. Many functions of the gastrointestinal tract exhibit robust circadian or sleep-wake rhythms. For example, gastric emptying and blood flow are greater during the daytime than at night, and described above metabolic responses to a glucose load are slower in the evening than in the morning. Therefore, it is plausible that a chronically disturbed circadian profile might affect gastrointestinal function and impair metabolism and health. The activity of the microbiota in the gastrointestinal tract also had a good impact on the intermittent fasting diet. It is suspected that there is a relationship between gastrointestinal function, circadian rhythm, and gut microbiota. The diversity of the gut microbiota is influenced by circadian rhythms and feeding signals in the body. Changes in the gut microbiota in obese patients reduce the function of the microbiota to absorb energy compared to the gut microbiota of normal individuals. Improvements in the activity of this microbiota have a positive impact on body weight regulation and stability. The last effect is modifiable lifestyle behavior. Fasting regimen have the potential to impact modifiable lifestyle behavior. From the literature I read that overweight young adults found that increasing the nightly fasting duration to more over less 14 hours resulted in statistically significant decreases in energy intake and weight, as well as improvements in self-reported sleep satisfaction, satiety and bedtime, and energy level. For energy intake, it can see that most fasting regimens reduce the total number of hours available for eating and thereby may reduce overall energy intake and risk of obesity. In addition, research in self and networkers has demonstrated alterations in appetite regulating hormones. For the example, leptin, ghrelin, senin that may lead to increases in total energy intake. Whereas for sleep, it can see that nighttime eating is associated with reduced sleep duration and poor sleep quality, which can lead to insulin resistance and increased risk of obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. Specifically, eating meals at abnormal circadian times. For example, at night, there's hypothesized to lead to circadian desynchronization and subsequent disruption of normal sleep patterns. Next will be presented by my friend Maisha Hanifa. It's your turn.
Effect intermittent fasting on diabetes. Next. There are negative and positive effects of intermittent fasting on diabetes. Intermittent fasting can cause hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia. Hypoglycemia is a condition which your blood sugar level is lower than normal. This can happen if you use insulin and suddenly it much less than normal. If unchecked, can lead to seizure, loss of consciousness, and death. While hyperglycemia is a condition in which your blood sugar level is higher than normal. This can happen if you eat more than you typically do, which may be likely to occur if you're especially hungry after a period of fasting. Hyperglycemia can risk complications such as nerve damage, blindness, kidney disease, heart disease, and stroke. So the patient of diabetes, before starting any diet or starting this intermittent fasting, does meet a doctor or dietitian to make sure it's safe. Next. Actually, intermittent fasting has some benefit on diabetes, especially diabetes type 2. Diabetes type 2 happens when your body becomes resistant to insulin and is associated with genetics and lifestyle choice. It means the body still produces insulin but is unable to use effectively, so glucose will accumulate in bloodstream. The first benefit, intermittent fasting helps patients of diabetes type 2 to losing their weight. Because obesity is a major health problem, increasing risk for diabetes type 2. The second, intermittent fasting improving insulin sensitivity. Insulin sensitivity is the reverse of insulin resistance. The third and the last are increasing levels of adiponectin and decreasing levels of leptin. Maybe I can explain that in next slide. Please next. Okay, adiponectin is a 244 amino acid protein secreted mainly by the adipose tissue. The level of adiponectin decrease with obesity and are positively associated with insulin sensitivity. In obesity, adiponectin levels are low. Adiponectin enhances insulin sensitivity. Intermittent fasting reduces adiposity through increased fatty acid oxidation. Fatty acid oxidation is a process which fatty acids are broken down to produce energy in a various tissues. We can see at the figure, in liver, adiponectin decrease gluconeogenesis and increase fatty acid oxidation. Gluconeogenesis literally translates as the production of new glucose. It is a metabolic pathway that results in the generation of glucose from non-carbohydrate carbon. And in the skeletal muscle, adiponectin increase glucose uptake, fatty acid oxidation, and lactate production. Next. Leptin. Leptin is a hormone that is produced by your body's fat cells. The more body fat they carry, the more leptin they produce. The fat cell use leptin to tell your brain how much body fat they carry. High level of leptin tell your brain that you have plenty of fat store, while low levels tell your brain that fat store are low and that you need to eat. In obesity, leptin levels are high, so can lead to leptin resistance. In other words, leptin resistance means your brain is starved while your body is obese. We can see at the figure, people with obesity have high leptin and increase insulin and lead to diabetes. Intermittent fasting control the leptin and make leptin sensitivity. Next. So summary about our presentation, the most common version of intermittent fasting are 16-8 method, 5-2 diet, and eat stop eat method. The benefit of intermittent fasting are rapid weight loss, reduce abdominal fat and inflammation, increase energy, and lowers blood sugar. Intermittent fasting improve metabolic profile and reduce the risk of obesity, fatty liver disease, diabetes, and cancer. The last summary, intermittent fasting on diabetes has two effects, negative effects and positive effects. Intermittent fasting can cause hypoglycemia if the glucose level is lower than normal, and also can cause hyperglycemia if you're especially hungry after a period of fasting and eating more than usually, so your glucose level is higher than normal. Intermittent fasting has benefits on diabetes type 2. It can improving insulin sensitivity. Next. This is resources that our group checked. Next. Okay, that's enough about our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.